tonight again. I told you I will be back, and here I am. Welcome to Changed Lives, an anchor series that seeks to bring people who have gone through the anchor journey, a journey of faith, and they come in, they share their stories, they share what God has done in their lives and how their lives have been impacted, transformed, and changed. And tonight, tonight, we have Pastor Amondi. One of just people I have grown to love this year especially, and we are so glad to have her here. So what I want you to do, please do this for me. Go ahead and invite your friends, go ahead and invite families, go ahead and send out the link and tell them, you know what, come and just listen in for just a few minutes and let's see what God has in store for you. So come in and let's do this. My name is Sheila Koronge, and I'm glad to have Pastor Amondi with us tonight. Pastor Amondi, karibu sana, all the way from that other side of Kenya. Karibu sana. Even as you just come in, let us know, who are you? Where are you? And so that we know you. Yeah, karibu.
Hey, so my name is Amondi Agutu Aura, married to Geoffrey Aura, and together we have a 1-year-old daughter. And we pastor ICC Kisumu, which is turning 2 years on 8th of November. So that was a quick introduction of myself.
Thank you for being here, Pastor. One of the things I love about Anchor is that anyone can be part of Anchor from anywhere in the world. And so it's so good. It's so good to just have you just come in and share your life on Changed Lives. And I remember when you did Anchor with your entire team, your entire staff team. And it was really interesting to see that. It was very inspiring also to see that. And I wanted to ask you, so how was the Anchor experience for you? How was the journey for you, especially doing it with your team? And what have you seen and what have you experienced from when it began and even right now where you are as your team? Would you like to share that with us, how the Anchor journey was?
Yes, so doing Anchor as a team has helped our leadership team a lot, because I see that people are more vulnerable with one another, and people are, more receptive of feedback when it's given to them. And the reason for this, I believe, is because we took that journey of faith, of growth, and of finding ourselves, searching ourselves together. And so doing it together as a team was very beneficial for us, because we are now relating at a higher level than we were previously.
Yeah, that's nice. I love the part where you say it allowed us to be vulnerable to one another. And I think with every team, until you do something, until you do an activity together, that's when you'll get to know one another better, you know. Yes. And thank you for just doing Anchor together with your team. And so now, moving away from your team, how has Anchor impacted your life? What can you tell us about Anchor? How has it been of a difference to you as a person? You can pick any area that you'd like to touch on, but definitely I hope we go through all the areas. But how has Anchor impacted your life as a person?
Okay, so I like the fact that week 1 is about finding your balance. And so we do the wheel of life and then see which areas are, need more work than others. And doing that really brought my life into perspective, because in that season, I think I was in a season where I needed some refreshing, like serious refreshing. I just needed something to, jolt me. And, I always say, I've been telling people, I believe that Anchor is a signpost on the journey of life. And as Christians, we have many of those. You walk a bit and then you find a signpost that reminds you, or a cheerleader that reminds you, hey, you're on the right path, keep going. So Anchor did that to me. I feel that Anchor was my cheerleader and my signpost. So I got a lot of refreshing. I got to reevaluate a lot of areas of my life and, just chart a plan of how I can up the areas that needed work in my life. Yeah.
Earlier when you were speaking, you said something which really stood out for me when you said you go to a point in life where you felt stuck. You know, I would really like to hear, how did you get out of that space where you felt stuck, and what made you feel stuck? You know, because people get stuck because of different things. What made you feel stuck, and how did you get into that? How did you get out? What was the process of you getting out from that place that you felt stuck in?
Okay, so I've said that I believe that Anchor was a refresher of, you know, my spirit and a cheerleader for me. And being in the position of leadership that I am, it's easy to be pouring into everyone's cup and not having enough time to get someone to pour into your own. Yeah. And so in that season, I was exhausted mentally and spiritually and even physically. And so I needed to get to the point where I'd remind myself of the fact that I also need the care that I give people. And so Anchor really was that for me. And the fact that I was doing it in a community, it wasn't a self-program where you go and sit on your own. It opened my eyes to, what everyone else around me is going through. And just to the fact that there are many people out there waiting to cheer you. So it's up to the individual to look out for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that you are in a community, and that's the beauty about Anchor. You Anchor in a community with other people, and this not necessarily is your colleagues or people that you know, but you go through the journey with other people to experience. So people are going through, and what people are overcoming, and what people are working on. Look at yourself and see, yes, I work on this too, I have this too, you know. And I really love when you say that. And just to pinpoint, is there something that maybe you used to struggle with even before Anchor? Are there things or challenges that you went through before Anchor, and you can say, this I saw myself get out of, this I saw myself develop out of, you know, even as you speak about Anchor right now?
Okay, so, you know, when you're in a space where you're mentally exhausted and spiritually, a lot of work stalls, and going through Anchor week by week, and every week was a different experience, a different time of refreshing, you know, exciting, just being with people. I believe that my challenge in that season was just the fatigue, extreme fatigue, and turning up for Anchor every week helped me to get out of that. But the other thing is that on Christmas Day of last year, 25th December 2021, we were just going about our business in the house, and suddenly my knees just got really painful. And when I looked, they were swollen. And it was just so weird. And so we spent a big part of that day in hospital with my husband and our daughter. And the doctor did some tests, and he says this could be developing arthritis. And I remember telling him, okay, I'll take the medication that you're giving me, but I know that God is going to turn this whole situation around. And so we began a journey of faith. And so there's a week in Anchor where you write down prayers of things that you feel are impossible, or things that you feel you've prayed about for long, but there's no answer, that kind of thing. And so one of the things I wrote down was that my knees are going to get healed in Jesus' name before Anchor ends. And there are times when God answers our prayers instantly, but there are times when he allows us to go through a process before the prayer is answered. So mine was a process, because the week after that, I hurt my lower back and it was excruciating pain. I had to go for physiotherapy. I did 6 sessions in total. But then now in this process, I asked them to also check my knees, and they did tests and they say there's absolutely nothing wrong with your knees. And so for me, that was a prayer answered. But then that immediately I finished the physiotherapy, my back was completely okay. It's been 2 months, I've not been in pain, I've not had to go to hospital or take any medication. So for me, I believe that the fact that that week of faith turned up and I put these things in writing, I believe that that was God working through and just showing me the journey of faith still continues and there's nothing that's impossible with him.
I love that. I completely love that. You know how sometimes you can be going through things in life and you're thinking, man, this is not going to happen. Man, is God going to answer this for it? You know, is this situation going to turn around? And you're like, wow. And then here you are in a class, and then you're told, write the things that you think are very impossible for God to do. I think they are humanly impossible. And I love that exercise in Anchor. And that's what Anchor does. Anchor gives you exercises to do that cause you to build faith, that cause you to believe for more, that cause you to see that there is so much in life than what sometimes you can settle for, than what sometimes you can sometimes just cage ourselves in. And I love your testimony, Pastor Mondi, because I have seen quite a number of people who come into Anchor and maybe they're going through so many things. It can be family issues, it can be finances, it can be quite a number of things, especially even just illnesses. And I've seen God heal. I have seen God turn around things, and you're like, wow, myself included. I came in as hangover and party girl, and then wow, all of us, as in I got to week 5 and week 8, you girl, I'm not going to clubs anymore. And it's not because I was told, no one told me to stop, but because of just the transformational power that is there in just studying every day, and God's hand and God's work in our lives. And I want to hear more of these testimonies. What else did God do in your life? What else did God do in your life, or in your team, that you have seen tangible? You can say, this one, I believe, I put faith in it. This one, I believe. What else? Is there any tangible thing that God has also done in your life through Anchor, even when you went through the journey?
Yeah, so the other thing I wrote, and this one I put at the bottom of the list because I was like, this is trivial. There are so many needs in the church. So I always, whenever I give this testimony, I tell people that our family car is so old. When we go to public places, we make sure we are the last to leave because it smokes a lot and the embarrassment that follows. And so I wrote there that I'd like God to bless us with a car. And the reason why I put it as a faith item, because, we could get a loan and, but we didn't want to get into debt because that's one of our financial goals as a family. And so we're like, God can provide. So, we are not going to go to debt. So I put it there. And then a couple of weeks later, I was called to minister at ICC Nairobi, which is our mother church, alongside Reverend Mungai and Reverend Joshua. And so I remember being asked, what are some of your needs as a church? And I struggled with this question because I'm thinking of all the things we need as a church. And as I was racking my brain, the Holy Spirit tells me, you need a car. And I'm like, okay, but is it trivial considering all the needs around us? And the Holy Spirit says, do you need a car or not? And we need a car. And so I said, we need a family van. Because even as a ministry, we are, every weekend we transport our instruments, and we also do a lot of travel. So when mission teams come to Kisumu, they need a van. And so I said, we need a ministry van. And you know, a week after I shared that with the congregation at ICC Nairobi, someone gave, I think, a quarter of what we need to cover the costs of the van. And then someone else topped that up. And now we are at 80% of what we need. And for me, this was just like, God, you know, I literally pinched myself. I was like, God, would you cause people to give me so much money for something that I thought was trivial? So it's good that I went through that, because after having prayed over this for a while, I was like, okay, God, I'll leave this here and let you answer it when you want. But I feel like that particular week, my faith was reactivated at the next level. So I stepped into the next level of my faith with God. Yeah.
Yay! I love that. You people, I love hearing anchor stories, changed life stories. It builds your faith, and that's what anchor does. You know, it changes lives. It changes life. It causes you to, you know, like you have, and you're taking the mountain head on. You know, and that's beautiful. Pastor Mondo, you have amazing testimonies, and I know you have quite a number of such testimonies. Even as we are talking about testimonies and what God did, is there anything tangible that has happened in your team that you would say, you know what, this I have seen God do and work in our team? What is it that you can say that has worked in your team? I know you said earlier that there's that vulnerability that has been there, but even as they are as individuals, have you seen impact in their lives because of Anchor?
Definitely. There are people that on the team that who are so fired up after Anchor, you know. There's so much excitement in serving, so much faith in God, so much hunger and thirst for God, and constantly searching for more and more. There are so many testimonies, but the one thing I can testify about is that the hunger and thirst for God has really grown. And the fact that we did it as a team helps us in that now we get to, you know, spur one another to good works, sharpening each other, and genuinely loving and looking out for every team member. Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
What happened?
I don't know, we disappeared, but let's continue. Go on. You are telling us what has happened in your team. Are there any tangible things that you've seen that have happened in your team?
Yes. So what I'd say is that there are people that can give their testimonies, and hopefully they'll get an opportunity to in future, that their hunger and thirst for God has just grown, yeah, and faith challenged. People are, you know, trusting God more. That habit of putting down that one thing that you're afraid of even praying about because it looks trivial or it looks too big, and faithing it until it comes to action. So I'd say, as a team, our faith has really grown.
Yeah. Wow, I love what you said, faithing it until it happens. That's a new word I have learned. I think I would carry that with me for a while. You need to faith on it until it happens. Faith it until it happens. That's a beautiful word to pick. Thank you so much for sharing that. I want to ask you this. I know we spoke about this earlier, but now I know you did Anchor with your husband. I know you did Anchor with your husband. And again, I'm putting myself on the line here. I know you did Anchor with your husband. And as a couple, what would you even share and say, how has your life been different? I know you serve with your husband, you're the senior pastors. you pastor ICC Kisumu, and also as colleagues, and even in your marriage, even together, even just loving one another together. How has your life been different, really, as a couple, because you went through Anchor?
Okay, so we usually like to get books and study together, and so in that season, Anchor was for it, and just that we did, we did our faith lists together, and the fact that God answered that, I think for us, it's really grown us in our faith journey.
Yeah.
But also reevaluating our financial goals, because that's one of the things that Anchor does. It's not just about spiritual growth. It looks at all areas of your life, your marriage, your relationships, your, your finances. And so I'd say Anchor helped us to look into our financial goals. We had goals at the beginning of the year, and what's happened?
We apologize, people. We apologize. I don't know what is wrong with this technology today. It's refusing. We apologize. Sorry for that. I hope you are still with us, and we will do this and get it done. We apologize, people. Stay with us. Stay with us. We need to hear this story. No matter what, we need to hear this story. Pastor Amundi.
So we're talking about doing Anchor as a couple.
Yeah, as a couple. Yes.
Yeah, and so it helped us, just really evaluate the different areas of our lives, our marriage, our parenting, our finances, our spiritual growth, and that we were able to do it together, I think really just brought us closer together as husband and wife.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. So what are the three words you would say about Anchor? If you were to maybe just speak about Anchor in 3 words, especially your life, for your team, and any other area of your life. If it's just, any 3 words that you would actually describe Anchor with, in the impact that it has done in your life and in your team, what would that be?
Okay, first, refreshed me. So refreshing. And then because we did it as a team, it made us really, it brought us more together than we were before, if there's anything in English like that. So togetherness. And then finally, it really is a journey of faith. So faith. Refreshing, togetherness, and faith. Yes.
I love refreshing, togetherness, and faith. Faith it until it happens. I have caught that from you. I'm going to use that for such a long time. Faith on it. Faith it until it happens. I love that. Thank you so much, Pastor Amu. And right now, even as we bring this to a close, there's someone watching maybe, and they are thinking, this is such a Christianese thing. I don't want to do it. I don't think this is a journey I want to take, or maybe they're skeptical or anything. Would you recommend Anchor? And if you would, what would you tell someone who's watching right now and they're saying, you know what, maybe not, I am not sure. What would you say to them?
Okay, so the thing about Anchor is that it's not a preachy book. It doesn't come at you and throw scripture at you. It really is a journey of, it's a journey of introspection. So you look into yourself and evaluate and see in what areas you'd like to grow. And so, like I said, it's a road sign that leads you into the way you should go. Do you want to, are you struggling financially? Are you in debt? Anchor will help you figure that out and help you dig out of that hole. Are you struggling with the spiritual life? Anchor will help you reevaluate that. Is it your fitness goals, your health? And I think one thing I didn't mention that I must say now is the week when you write 100 goals. And that looks like a daunting task. But then when you start, you realize that you have so many dreams and goals that you've wanted to achieve throughout your life. And so I've gone beyond 100. Yeah. Wow. So that's another thing that Anchor does. It helps you dream again and then set mini goals to reach those main goals that you've written. Yeah.
Wow, I love that. I think that's a good way to end this interview. Anchor helps you dream again. Did you hear that? Anchor helps you dream again. It helps you begin just being alive again. Everything that maybe you shelved because of something that happened or you're feeling stuck. Anchor yes, it actually revives you. It refreshes you. It helps you dream again. And I love that, guys. Anchor is real. It's not just something we are mentioning. It changes lives. Look at Pastor Amondi. She is transformed in her leadership, in her being a pastor, being a wife, being a leader of teams, being a mother even. She is transformed. She is changed. And even God is working. She is carrying testimonies that, maybe, she would not even have thought. That is what Anchor does. You're just allowing God into your life to just work and to cause everything to fall into place. Anchor helps you dream again. Pastor Amondi, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you. Despite the technology shutdowns and all, you stayed. Thank you so much for being here. And I think we should interview your entire team one of these days. We should have all of them in a panel and we should interview them and hear the great stories that Anchor has done and how it has changed their lives. Would love to do that.
Be good.
Yeah, we will definitely. Guys, we call it a night. We call it a night. If you'd like to do Anchor, the details are on the chat section. Get in touch with us. Get plugged in. Get transformed. Get changed. Anchor changes lives. You can do it as an individual. You can do it with your friends. You can call in your colleagues. You can do it as a couple. Yes, you can. You can also do it with your children. I know of a couple that did it with their children when they're going through Anchor. Maybe we will hear of their stories soon. God bless you. Let's meet here again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Another story coming up for us on Changed Lives. Have a good night. Pastor Mondi, thank you for being here. Bye, everybody.
See you.
Bye.